Welcome back to the Mulligan Moneylines podcast powered by Wasaga Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Aidan Brown, joined by Ben Garcia and Deagle. Conference championships have wrapped up, and I personally was definitely not disappointed in what I watched last weekend. Georgia in the SEC championship absolutely embarrasses Alabama 28-7, and I think that the Dogs have got to be the scariest team in the nation right now. Nobody's going to want to play them. Their defense is getting better every week. Their offense is getting better every week, whether it's rushing, whether it's passing. Gunnar Stockton having another highly efficient game on the ground and in the air, 0 turnovers. And, I mean, this team has really rallied around Gunnar the way that we haven't seen since Stetson. He's got a control that Carson Beck never had.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. The big difference in this game versus when Alabama and Georgia played in Athens was third downs. This time, Alabama was only 3 of 14 on third down, and they lost the turnover battle. With Gunnar Stockton showing up and shining when the lights are at their brightest, Alabama didn't have a chance on Saturday, let's be honest.
Yeah, Gunnar Stockton, the most interesting thing to me was he had a 70% completion percentage on the year going into that game. Yeah, that's really good. That's stats like Joe Burrow was putting up in the NFL. So he was showing lackluster play last week, only 70 yards of passing last week, and then showed up and showed out like I said he needed to do last week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It wasn't long passes down the field. It was those short touchdown passes. It was those short first down passes. It was an absolutely phenomenal play from Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah.
You know, then next we had the Ohio State-Indiana. This game was not what I expected at all. These two guys over here, they picked the game a lot better than me, but Ohio State, it was third down again. They were 4 of 12 on third down, and you add a lack of ability to move the ball down the field and close out drives. The missed field goal, Ohio State, they didn't play to the level that anyone thought they were going to, but Indiana didn't play well either. Indiana didn't do anything special in this game. They just did enough to put themselves in a position to win, and Ohio State had no response.
Yeah, I definitely don't disagree with you. I fortunately felt a little frisky and took Indiana money line. And, I mean, yeah, like you said, Indiana's defense definitely stepped up. Their offense did what it needed to get the job done. But, I mean, for Ohio State, I can't say that I'm really surprised. You can't win a conference championship if you're missing a field goal from inside the 30-yard line.
No, seriously.
Yeah, this game was a low-scoring game. Ohio State's setting the precedent that when they play good teams, top 5 teams, that's going to be a low-scoring game. Yep. But that is to some of their credit as well, though, because Indiana's been scoring a lot of points throughout the season. So to see that is scary for them as well because they need to improve their offense. Both teams need to improve their offense going into the playoffs.
100%.
For sure.
100%.
We have the official college football playoff bracket, and a lot of people, including myself, are pretty upset about it. We've got JMU and Tulane both being in, with Duke coming up with a win in the ACC championship. Notre Dame, who'd been ahead of Miami in the polls for weeks, gets swapped out at the last second because of their head-to-head matchup, and we're just seeing a lot of inconsistencies here. Are they caring about conference success, head-to-head matchups, this eye test that we're all talking about? I expect that there will be some changes in the playoff format next year to kind of hope mitigate these errors.
Yeah, this was just a weird playoff bracket that they came out with. For some reason, Ohio State only fell to 2, although for the second time, I guess now, since they've only played 2 teams, the second time they played a meaningful game, they only put up between 10 and 14 points. I don't see how that could lead them to be the number 2 team in the country. Georgia put a lot of points up on Texas.
Yep.
And they put a lot of points up on Alabama twice. And still they're number 3. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Alabama being number 9 is also a little crazy as well. They didn't move them at all, but punished BYU and knocked them out of the playoffs.
Right.
Miami, I do think, needs to get in over Notre Dame, the head-to-head matchup. Regardless of what week it was, you're still supposed to play. Even if it's not how it works in reality, you're still supposed to play to the best of your abilities.
Right, and the other thing is, Alabama, they played Georgia, they won. They played Tennessee, they won. They played Vanderbilt, they won. Alabama deserves to be in the playoff. I think there's no question of that in my mind, but it does seem a little inconsistent that Notre Dame's ranked above Miami for, 5 straight weeks?
At least.
And then last second you get swapped out. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Well, I think that really shows a flaw with the ranking system more than the playoff system, because maybe Miami should have been ranked higher than Notre Dame. They did take those losses, but they bounced back, and Notre Dame was just never lost another game after the first
and I think to go with that, with the format being the issue, JMU shouldn't be in. Tulane probably shouldn't be in. I mean, it's cool to give the group of 5 teams a chance, but does Tulane really have any chance? I think they're a 25-point dog, and I'm pretty sure JMU is a 21-point dog. That shows you right there, these teams don't have chances to win these games. Why are they playing?
Not what you want out of playoff football. Well, we definitely saw how Notre Dame felt about the whole thing, declining their bowl game, but we can save that for another time. At this point, we're going to hear a message from our sponsor.
It starts with a single card and turns into a passion. At Henny Sports Cards, we bring that passion to life. From the slam of basketball, the crack of the bat, the drive downfield, the beautiful game, to the rush on the ice.
Get your Hennessy Sports Cards today by visiting the link below.
With the playoffs being out and official, we have a new game for us where Ben and Drew here are going to be starting 2, benching 2, and cutting 2 playoff quarterbacks, starting out with Ole Miss Trinidad Chambliss.
Well, that's a great start. You definitely can't cut him.
No, you can't. You can't cut him. You can't cut him. I mean, there's a lot of questions for Trinidad Chambliss. I would say start. I'm going to say start Trinidad.
I can agree with you there. I'll take a start.
I'll start Trinidad.
I mean, I think that's fair. He's going to be going against Tulane. He's probably going to be having a big performance in this week 1. Next up, we got Marcel Reed from A&M.
Now, this is really tough. I'm going to go bench. I'm going to bench Marcel Reed.
I agree with you there. He kind of plays like Jameis
Winston. He's really, really good, but when he plays better teams, he does not play as good as he did when he played all of the terrible teams that he played throughout the season.
High yardage, high touchdowns, high interceptions.
Yep, we saw what happened against Texas. 2 picks in the last 2 minutes. Ugh. Dante Moore from Oregon now.
Cut.
Yeah, cut. Definitely a cut.
We all know how we feel about Oregon on this channel.
Not a serious contender.
Well, next up, our favorite, John Mateer from Oklahoma.
He's had a lot of 0 touchdown games with 1 or 2 turnovers.
I'll bench him. I'm not going to say he's worse than what could come, but I'll say that he's not my last starter, I hope.
We'll see how you guys feel about that. Julian Sayin next from Ohio State.
So what do we have, a keep and a cut?
We have
Ben has a start and a bench.
Bench.
Oh, yeah, he's not starting.
Yeah, he's benched.
There you go.
Definitely benched.
And then Mulligan Moneyline's favorite quarterback, Gunnar Stockton.
I am definitely excited that he's my second starter for sure. That's awesome.
Like I said earlier, 70% completion percentage. I'll take that.
You guys played that pretty well, I'd say. I definitely wouldn't be able to even bench Mateer. I can't do it.
He is not a clutch quarterback, to say the least.
Well, now on to everyone's favorite game of the year. It's the Armed Forces game, the Army-Navy game. The Black Knights taking on the Midshipmen. Navy sitting at 9-2 as opposed to Army sitting at 6-5. Yeah. What do we think, fellas?
Yeah.
I mean, you can take the record into account all you want, but I mean, in America's game, you never really know. This is going to be the game where both Army and Navy show their most effort. That is the game they want to win the most. And so with that being said, I think that, Army has shown glimpses of being able to stay competitive with good teams. I think Army doesn't win necessarily, but I do think they cover at +6.
Interesting. I think that this is a matchup between these two like none other that they've had in a long time. This is the first time that both teams have a semi-high-powered offense. At least both teams have the capability of putting up points, and they've done that multiple times throughout this season. With that being said, I think that the over in this game at 41.5 is a must, and I think that the Black Knights come out with a win. If you're feeling froggy, put some money on the Black Knights money line at +200.
Not a bad bet, Ben. Navy has the better record, but Army 17-24 lost to Tulane, which is a playoff contender and a real opponent according to the CFP. So they kept up with them. I'm looking for them to come out and make it a brutal game.
Yeah, definitely. I think both teams put up a lot of points. I think this game could be the first time these teams both get to 30, maybe in the history of the game.
I don't agree with you there.
I know that I'm excited to watch. As always, thank you for listening to the Mulligan Moneylines podcast, sponsored by Wasaga Sports Network. We'll see y'all next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe.